we need to take a different discourse. We need to understand that the governments, our government, my government, the Israeli government, doesn't speak for all the people living in Israel. And of course, Hamas in Gaza doesn't speak for all the Palestinians living in Gaza. So I think that is one of the main things we really want to convey by bringing our reality here, the complexity we have, and maybe I will give maybe 2 more minutes to explain that complexity that we live in. And I will take it from the 7th of October. Each and every one of us back home has a different story on where we were on the 7th of October. I live in Jaffa, Rula lives in Tel Aviv, which is basically the same city, but we have 20 minutes apart from one another. I live in a neighborhood where we have, well, it's a mixed neighborhood, in a building that it's mixed. It has also Jewish and Palestinian citizens living in it. And at 6:30, the first siren that was heard, I woke up in the morning and I didn't understand what really happened. Because mostly the wars that we have between Israel and Gaza, you have a build-up to that war. You understand that war is coming, something is happening, something political has been happening, and then, okay, in a week from now we're going to be having missiles. And that is a very sad reality to be living in. But that is our reality back home. And on the 7th of October, I woke up. I didn't understand what was happening. The first siren hit, the second one, the third one. And I did what any other normal person would do. I took my phone and I started looking in the news to understand what really was happening. The government didn't say anything. The police didn't say anything. The news didn't say anything. But the social media had so many images of the attack Hamas did on the south, the massacre that we all realized 5-6 hours after it. And for me, it was a horrifying moment because I understood that there was a party and my friend was supposed to be in that party. And I started calling her for 3 hours. She didn't answer. And I was really nervous because I started seeing the images and the videos and we started realizing what was really happening. And no one was helping. We had people going on TV and radio stations asking the police, the army to come and help, but nobody came. For me, my friend answered 3 hours after. And she said she didn't go to the party because her friends who were supposed to come from Haifa didn't want to go to the party. And I'm talking about Palestinian friends, Palestinian citizens. And the relief I had at that moment was huge. I don't think I can compare it to any other kind of relief that I've had in my whole lifetime. And a few next hours were verifying more images of what was happening. And then we all understood that there was hostages taken to Gaza. And then we began seeing what the attack really did to the south. 3-4 hours at the same day, at night, what our government did was not to try to take the grief of the people, to try to understand how to protect the people living in the south, or even the people living inside of Israel, but she decided to attack back Gaza. And she initiated airstrikes, killing at the first day hundreds of innocent people living in Gaza. And for the next few days, we all understood that we are at war, at a different kind of war that we've never had before. Horrifying images from both sides, horrifying stories from both sides, and as if all of that was not enough, my government, our government, decided that it was the right time to persecute Palestinian citizens of Israel and people with left views, people who wanted this war to stop, people who wanted answers, solutions from the government, which she didn't give even until this day. And people even who said anything about the pain of the people living in Gaza and what they have been enduring. So she started persecuting people and jailing people. And the first week was a massive arrest to Palestinian citizens, known figures such as actresses, soccer players, TikTok, people who do TikTok and Instagram are really famous on it. And it went to a place where they even arrested parliament members who told people to go out and demonstrate. So with all of that complexity and all of these images and pictures and all the pain all of us had inside of us, because most of us we are Israeli citizens. We have families inside of Israel. We have friends, Palestinian and Jewish friends. But in my movement, we have friends also in Gaza. We have family members living, for some of us, in Gaza. And the pain was so horrific that everybody was really scared, even sharing it, even talking about it, because our government didn't give place to that. She decided at the first day to just start bombing Gaza without discriminating where she was bombing, who she was bombing. And today, we all know there are thousands of innocent people who have lost their lives in Gaza. 1,200 people died in the Hamas terror attack, and we still have 140 hostages inside of the tunnels of Hamas. And I'm saying all of that because us, as a grassroots movement, with all of the complexity, with all of that pain, with everything that we have been going through and still really going through right now, we were able to do something. We were able to stand up at the first day to say, this is a historical moment. What's happening here can really divide us, can go to a horrific place where our shared society is going to be impacted, where even talking about a peace between Israelis and Palestinians is nothing that we can't really do anymore. And if we don't stand up and do something, we're going to lose so much of the work that we've had and we've done. So at the first day of that war, Saturday was the day the attack happened, and on Sunday we had our first meeting. And then we understood that as a grassroots movement, we needed to take action. And I think my point, and then I will give it to Uri, from all of that, that if we were able, as a grassroots movement, with all of that complexity, with all of that pain, being persecuted in our own country, we were still able to stand up and have rallies and have activities and speak on a different discourse. If we are able to do that at times of war, I think everybody abroad, outside of Israel and Palestine, should be able to do the same. And I think if we are still talking about negotiations, about peace, everybody abroad should be able to do that. And what I'm really asking is what I said at first, that when you go out and you talk about us and you demonstrate for us, don't just demonstrate for one side, because it's not about one side. It's about the lives of the people living in Israel and Palestine, who all deserve peace, justice, liberty, and independence.